Okay, I'm going to try this again. I had to, started recording earlier and Poncho made it a little difficult. Plus, my phone was dying, so I needed to charge it. It's been a little hard. I'm not going to lie, I've been feeling a little unmotivated to continue on this project. It's kind of funny, which is like they say in recovery, you know, when you don't feel like going to a meeting, that's usually when you need to go to a meeting. Well, it's kind of my project. When I don't feel like recording, sometimes that's exactly what I need to be recording and journaling. And it was a really good weekend. It was a really good weekend, and I need to record my thoughts on that because it is part of the Earth Angel Project and my spiritual recovery project. And even though I did take a break, 2 days, I did not post any recordings. I don't even think I posted tarot for Friday or Saturday. I listened to a little bit last night after Adela, because I had my daughter this weekend. It was so awesome. After Adela and I were laying down, we had a really cool long day, but we were tired when we got home. She went to talk to one of her little girlfriends on the phone. She's just like her mama. She is rarely in a relationship, but she's always giving the relationship advice or the friend advice or just the advice in general. And that's what she was doing last night. She was helping one of her friends through 14, 15-year-old relationship issues. But that's really intense at that age, and they have a lot of craziness going on in their life. So I'm really proud of my daughter for, she's just very mature about the way that she thinks about things and the way that she helps her friends through things. And I really hope that people can see how lucky they are to have her in their lives, but I doubt they do. But I hope she finds people and a group that will recognize her and love her and not, you know, use her. She's an empath. Bless her heart. She is definitely, and she's so fucking intuitive. I've always known that about her as a child. In the last few years, I have not been with her full time, which has been really, really difficult. But I have felt her very strong. Whether she's felt me or not, I have felt her. And it's been part of this spiritual project that I've been working on. And this weekend, it was kind of cool because I got a really cool confirmation from the universe that I'm on the right track. And also that my daughter is gifted. I mean, it's not that I didn't think she was gifted. I just know that, at least like for me, I toned down my empathic gifts and my intuitiveness, especially at her age, because it was just too intense. And, you know, being raised the way that I was and the religion that I was, talking about dreams and ancestors and things like that was not exactly very Mormon-like. And I was told it was demonic and that I was inviting the devil by talking about those things and stuff like that. So my gifts, my intuition and stuff lay dormant in me for a long time, a really long time. I think a lot of people can relate to that. We just become desensitized, and you know, the things that we were passionate about as kids, even whether it be music or poetry or reading or whatever it is, writing, we just get so caught up in work that we forget that that was even a part of us, a part that we really had we nurtured and learned from and had an environment that had helped us, our lives would have been very different. That's what I learned this weekend. Oh, Chingo. Confirmation. Okay. So, let's see if I can reach one of my incense here. So this weekend, it's kind of strong. I don't want that one. Pick out a random incense. That will work. Clear some energy. It was a little heavy because my daughter left a few hours ago. And I'm not gonna lie, when she leaves, I'm happy and I'm tired, but I get a little sad because I start to miss her. But we had some really cool confirmations, and I got to share with her, not intentionally, but a little bit about the project that I've been working on and share with her about spirituality. And we both got to do something together that I never thought we would be able to. And I figured we would at some point, but it was really cool to do it this weekend. And so a few things I want to make sure that I cover. Again, I'll probably post this. I don't know if I'll make it private or public, but not that anyone watches. Anyway, on Friday she came in, and it was kind of cool because I've only been working at my job since late September, early October, and I have the least experience, and I'm not the boss. I'm just a regular old worker, and I'm really grateful to be there. And sometimes it's been very humbling for me, but it's given me a lot of respect for people in the service industry, which I've been working the last few years. But I've really enjoyed it, and physically I get tired. Schedule's kind of rough sometimes, but I really enjoyed it. And Friday I was really tired, and we had 2 people out, so we had to prep for the weekend, and then we had our holiday party coming up, and I wanted to go. And honestly, had I not invited my daughter, it was an excuse for me to have my daughter come into town. I wanted her to see that I was working. I wanted her to meet some of the people that I work with, because she has. I was posting videos of us in Jamaica, and I would always have people over, and so I wanted her to see, why I was here away from her, and meet the people that I work with and so forth. So my brother, which I was grateful for, brought her, and had she not been coming, I probably wouldn't have gone to the party. I was exhausted. I was cranky by the end of the week. We had 2 people out, but she was coming, and I got dressed up, and I combed all my hairs, and my brother dropped us off at the wrong place first, and then we finally figured out where the right place was. It was just one of those, we walked in late, and they were already doing the presentation, and I was so embarrassed, but we kind of snuck in and squeezed in, and about 5 minutes into it, I said, we'll get dinner after this. Sorry, Dels, because we had gotten there so late. There was a lot of traffic coming in on Friday. And they were giving out little things here and there. I didn't know it was awards. I got an award. I was totally shocked. And I know it sounds crazy, because I have been awarded. I've been awarded by, senior levels at Dell. I've been awarded at Chase. I've gotten some pretty big awards, but there was something about this one that it was so unexpected. And I feel so inadequate sometimes in my job, because I don't know as much as the others do around me. But I learned so much from them. And so I guess from each department, the leadership selected one person that they wanted to recognize. And I was that person. And I was totally floored. I mean, we just made it in, and my daughter got to see me, get this cute little award. I mean, it was very sweet, and it was very surprising. And I just wanted to cry. I don't know why. I just was because it was so, it's been a rough 2 years. It's been a long time since I've been appreciated. And I don't say that like, woe is me. I'm just being honest, The last few jobs have been really hard on me, and the moves have been hard, and my family, it's been a rough few years, and I've felt like such a burden on so many people that I've helped multiple times, and so it just really surprised me, and it was a wonderful surprise. And I was glad that my daughter was there and got to see me get that. And she was like, okay, Mom, like we were kind of teasing. And I got my little gift certificate, which I was like, this is yours. We'll use it this weekend, which we did. Or we used at least that amount. And so we got home on that night. And there's a young boy that lives here. He's close to the age that Ellie would be. And I was so in awe of my daughter. Like, Ranger's so good with Poncho, and he's good with me, but I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'm like, Ranger, he's like, and I'm just like, I'm so tired. My daughter was so good with him the entire time. I think he has a crush on her. He just loved her. He wanted to stay in our room the entire time. She listened to him. She talked with him. Talked to him like he was like right at his level. Poncho was in heaven. I was just so amazed at how cool my daughter is and how kind she is. And it's no wonder kids absolutely love her. And I was just grateful that she gave him that attention. And it was weird because when we got home, Pancho pooped in his kennel, which he never does. It was a really weird thing. I don't know what was going on. I think he just doesn't like going outside potty when it's cold, and he didn't want to go poop when I let him out, and so then he ended up, it was gross. But we got the kennel out late at night. And the next morning, him and Deli both cleaned it out for me, which was really sweet. I know it's little things like that, but cleaning out a dog's kennel is not fun. But, the next morning, my daughter and I got up, and, I made sure that I wasn't going to do any work on the Earth Angel project, when I was with her, because she has pointed out to me, rightfully so, that I'm not always engaged with her 100%. I don't give her all of my focus. I need to be here now. And the phone is a huge distraction for me. So I didn't connect to Wi-Fi or anything. I don't have my phone connected, and I'm so glad. She still had hers, but that's okay. For the most part, we needed one person to have the phone so that we could get our Uber drivers and stuff and go around town. But we did a lot of walking. The weather was beautiful outside, even though it was still cold. She dresses so freaking cute. She had the cutest little outfit, and she borrowed some of my clothes. What? Like, oh my gosh. So we got to go to the thrift store. She took a long time to get ready, but she looked just beautiful. And I know she's my daughter, but I was just like, wow, I love her style, and I love her confidence, and I just love this kid so much. And people noticed it. She got like 3 compliments. Like, random people would be like, oh my God, I love your outfit. They would just tell her, she's like, oh thanks. And I was just like, okay. She's like, see, don't get mad at me for taking so long. She's so cute. But yeah, we had a really cool time. And we went to this really cool place in our little town, and it's right next to the asylum, or former asylum, which has been remade into like a haunted house, which is obviously closed now. But right next to it, they have this marketplace. I don't know if it was part of the asylum or what, but it's almost like a flea market type of mall, like indoor flea market type of mall. And it was so stinking cute. And it was the holiday. They had Santa Claus and the Grinch there. And, you know, we first we went to the little Greek. I found like I'm like my peepaw. Like, you know, I go to certain restaurants and the waitresses know me and they're like, oh my God, it's so good to see you. And my daughter was like, how many times have you been here? It's really cute. And I was like, I wanted you to meet my daughter, because all the young waitresses there and they were like, oh my God, she's so cute. And I'm like, I know, right? We went to that little Greek restaurant that I liked, and the sweet waitress that was there, got to meet Deli. And then we went to the thrift shop, and she didn't find much. There was one top that she thought about, she ended up not getting, but we found a really cool messenger bag. And at first she was like, nah, I don't want it. And I said, okay, well, I'm gonna get it then, because I've been wanting one. And then thank God I did. Thank you, universe, because we needed it I didn't bring my purse and stuff, and we ended up buying a few things, so it worked out really well, and it matched her outfit perfectly. And by the end of the night, she's like, I love this bag. And I'm like, it's yours. She's like, no, I know you wanted it. And I'm like, I asked you first. I'd rather it go to you. So she did end up getting a really cool messenger bag, and I got one book, because you know me, one on storytelling, somewhere around here. And then we went to the antique shop, and I got her a hamsa. Am I saying that right? That little hand with the little evil eye on it, a necklace. I told her I want her to wear that. I said, if I get this for you, will you wear it? And she's like, yeah. Which I was like, good. Any type of protection over her. I said, I send her protection anyway. And I kind of laughed, because this antique shop has this little corner. It's called the Raven's Den, and it's got like all this crystals and things. That's where I got my crystals and stuff. And she's like, oh, that's right up your alley. So we get to talk a little bit about spirituality. But the best time of the evening, well, at one point we had to do some walking, and there was this one shop. It was a tea shop, and we had to go get cash. And so we walked a long way. The weird thing was, she had a really bad headache, and my daughter doesn't complain much. And for her to take medicine, it was kind of a big deal. I taught her about the pressure point, and it helped. And then I said, well, let's go get some caffeine, because maybe that'll help your head a little. And we had to leave the little marketplace, and I said, I need to get cash anyway, because the tea place only took cash. And while we were walking to this coffee shop, I get nervous about her being on the outside, because if there's traffic, I don't want her to get hit by a car or something, because I was hit by a car. So I pulled her towards me, and she tripped over her own feet, and like she fell. And she's like me, Nana, like when she falls, I was like immediately as the mom, are you okay? And she's like, leave me alone. And she's like, I'm fine. And I'm like, okay, all right, get up. And she got up, and she's super annoyed at first. And she already had a headache. And then it was like, well, it's because you moved me and I tripped over my feet. So I was the bad guy for a little while. And I said, yeah, I did it on purpose. Anyway, there was a little bit of annoyance, but she's 15, you know. We'd already booked our tickets for Wicked. We'd already gone to 2 different thrift shops and stuff, and we finally got our caffeine, and then I went to an ATM. But as we were walking to go get the ATM, another weird thing happened. Like, in the middle of the road, these 2 cars, like, there was an accident, like, right in front of us. And it kind of tripped us out. Just there's so much energy when things like that happen. The sound is horrendous. You hear the and the ksh, and then some lady jumps out of her car and she starts screaming, and people were all around there. I mean, pretty quickly came around, and it wasn't anything severe. Thank God there wasn't. It wasn't anything major, but it was just a really weird incident. So I said, let's send some good juju and good prayers that way, and we did. And by the time we went to the ATM and we walked back, there was already an ambulance there, and she was like, wow, that was quick. And I'm like, it's a tiny town. Like, they probably heard it from wherever they're at. Said, oops, sounds like someone got into a fender bender. So we kind of laughed about that. And we went back to the place, and we got our teas, which we were excited because the lady was closing, and the lady was super sweet. It was her last day there. So my daughter is not a big tea drinker, but we were able to get, I have it here, the strawberry tea, and I got masala tea from like India. Oh, so good. And it was fun. And then she's like, hey, Mom, I hadn't even noticed. She's like, there's a fortune teller there. And I was like, a what? She's like, yeah, there's that little dark room over there. There's a room over there with the crystal ball. I bet she reads fortunes. And I said, oh, wow, they have one here? And she said, yeah. She's like, do you want to do it? And it kind of said, it was a tarot reader. And I've been wanting to do one. I haven't been able to in over 2 years because I haven't been able to afford, it's been kind of tight. That's not what I wanted to spend my money on. But I had been thinking about doing one. And especially in regards to this spiritual project and this Earth Angel project. And like, I've been kind of hitting a wall with it. And so I was like, wow, okay, I'm going to go with it. It felt right. And the fact that my daughter was very interested in it. And earlier, the cool thing was, oh my gosh, I almost forgot this part. So we had a good time after the party, and we came home and we were talking about like Spotify and her music list, her rap. And then she told me about her YouTube. I guess she's like, yeah, I just got my YouTube wrap up or year wrap. Or I know I'm butchering it, but apparently this year YouTube did something like kind of like gives you your year in review of what you've been watching on YouTube. And I remember seeing it come up, and I was like, I don't want to know what they're watching me or whatever. But my daughter was like, mine was really on point, and it was kind of cool because she's been doing all these gamings and things like that. So she pulled up hers and she showed me hers, and I got so excited because one of the people that she follows is one of the people I follow, and her name is Alyssa G, and she's one of the Exmos. She is one that I posted and I've talked about quite a bit. She did the Surviving Mormonism. She does a podcast, and it's and I know no one will understand this, but I have really been struggling because part of this project has been peeling back the layers of the Mormon Church, and I really have an issue with the doctrine and the toxicity that there are good things of it, but I see it now, and I see what it did in my life, and and my daughter has been going to that church, even though I told my family that I don't mind her going to the activities, but church itself, I don't want her to, but hasn't mattered. So I've been really conflicted on, I don't want to be anti-Mormon with her. I'd rather her discover it on her own, kind of like I had to. And sure enough, one of her favorite podcasters, or she said, I don't listen to all her podcasts, but I listen to her shorts. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm just glad she's like on your top list, because even though my daughter goes to the activities and even some of the functions and on Sundays, she is looking and listening to someone that's giving her another perspective of that church besides her mom. So Alyssa, I love you. Thank you. I think that's her name. So I was really happy about that. And I felt like, oh, because my daughter's smart. She's so fucking smart. And she's a good judge of character. And so for her to be drawn to her, I know that she'll be okay. Like, she's not going to try and convert and start, you know. But anyway, so when we're at this place, and we've got like 2 hours or an hour or two before the movie, she's like, let's get our fortune, you know, do you want to get your fortune told? And I was like, yeah, do you want to? And I thought this is a good opportunity for me to kind of talk to her about spirituality and, you know, oh, come on. Hold on. Spirituality and things like that. And, you know, because I do listen to a lot of tarot and kind of the creativity that I have been, there we go. So, so she said, okay. And I said, do you want to sit in and listen? And she's like, yeah. And the lady was amazing. I won't get into it too long. At least my part was pretty fucking amazing. And she hit the nail on the head on multiple things, but definitely my Earth Angel project. And I didn't even call it that. I just said my spiritual recovery. And she was like, you have got to do that. And she pulled up all these cards, and it was just like, then it was just a lot of confirmation. It was just kind of cool. And yeah, it could be her guessing or reading my body language. It doesn't matter whether people believe it, or even if she was fake and she's just, no, it wasn't. It was what I needed to hear, and that's what the universe told me. It was just confirmation of what I already knew. But she did bring up one really cool, amazing thing. I was kind of on the fence about sharing this, but I'm going to go ahead and share it. I have one person in my life that, you know, I'm confused sometimes because we have this, I feel like this very strong connection. And there are times when he'll come in my dreams, and not those kinds of dreams, although I wouldn't mind it being those kind, but just like if I see him in my dreams, or I'll talk to him, I don't even always remember him, but he'll be in the dreams, and I'll have it's almost like a premonition. And recently, not that long, a few weeks ago, I think I journaled about it. I had a premonition, and I just said, hey, you've been showing up. I just sent him, and we barely talked, just because I think he's got a lot going on, and I know I do too, and I'm really focusing on my healing. And the last thing I need to do is try and mix my relationship with him, because I need to be healthy and whole before I can. But he's the one that really helped me even to move out here to Utah, and the one person that believed me when all this shit was going down with my worthless piece of shit ex that I will never, ever, 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 ever talk to again. Anyway, yeah, that fucker came up in my reading, and that, all confirmation. But this one came up, and I said something about, and she's like, it's a friend you've had for a long time. And I'm like, yeah. I was just kind of like, and it was all like, take it slow, but you, whoever it is, you have a very strong connection. And when I texted him a few weeks ago, like, you've been in my dreams, are you okay? And that's all I'll say to him. And every single time I've been on point. And he replied back, I've been a little under the weather. I'm getting tests done. And I'm not going to lie, when he said that, my heart just, because for him to even, it's like my daughter taking medicine. She's got to be in a lot of pain to even admit that she's going to take medicine. And so for him to even admit that he's taking tests, or even to share that with me, knowing that I'm very sensitive, I knew something was going on. But I respected him, because if he wanted me to know, he would tell me. And I just said, I knew something was going on. He's like, yeah, I've been under the weather, but I'm getting tests and I should be okay. And I said, I knew something was up. That's why you showed up in my dreams. And I said, I don't know what's going on, but I am sending you good juju and lots of love. And I hope that everything is okay, but please, please take care of yourself. And he's like, okay, thanks. And so I left it at that. And then a week or two later, I was like, I want to check on you. Are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm much better. And that's all it was. And I relayed that story to her. And she said, you want me to check in? And I'm like, yes. Because she could see how concerned I was. I've been thinking about him a lot again lately. And he's in my head. And she's like, it's because you have a connection. So she checked in and she was like, I think he's had issues with his heart or his circulation. And my heart just went whoop again. She's like, he's okay, at least from what I can read. But I think that's what his thing was, you know. And I said, I kind of believe that too. That doesn't surprise me. It just scares me a little. And I just left it at that, you know. I won't say too much more about that. And so afterwards, you know, I kind of talked about it, and Dells was like, are you talking about Jay? I'm like, how do you know? And she's like, I know, Mom. I'm like, he's the one that brought you to Utah. He's the one, your friend that you've had forever. And I'm like, well, I'm not trying to get in a relationship, Dells. It's nothing like that. I remember I was like, oh, should I have had her sit in on this? But I'm glad she did, because it was really cool. We went through all of my houses. I guess there's 12 houses. And then Dells and the lady was so intrigued by Dells. She was very fair price too. So I asked Dells, do you want to get one? And she's like, yeah. And so I said, okay. And so we got Dells a reading. And I'm so grateful, because Dells opened up and was so honest with her about things I didn't even know about. Oh, it was really cool. It was really, really cool. And confirmation of her gifts and her talents. And Dells was like, yeah. And she would tell her stuff. And I'm like, wow. I mean, I knew that you were intuitive, but I didn't know how intuitive, because we don't talk about that stuff much. So it really opened up a really cool dialogue, and the lady gave her great advice, and it was just a really cool thing for Deli just to learn about astrology, to learn, I mean, she even gave her very good advice about friends, and I didn't know that there was one that's literally a predator. It scared the shit out of me, and there's no way Deli would have told me just straight. I mean, maybe at some point she would have, but the lady was like, there's someone in your friend group, really dark energy. What is it? Are you okay? And she's like, well, yeah. And she's like, I don't know, I'm seeing, she's like, well, yeah, there's this one person, it just happened this week, and he's, you know, he's been very inappropriate with us, and he's like the fun gay guy, and he would like touch our breasts and our thighs, and I'm like, oh. And then she says, and then it turns out, we find out that he has a girlfriend. What a fucking cunt. Even at that age, they're lying fucking predators. In middle school and high school, this kid was pretending to be gay so he could feel up and touch on these girls. Like, what a little bitch. Oh my God, I had a dream about him last night, and I was hunting that little motherfucker down. He better run. But Deli never would have told me the lady that was reading her was like, he's bad energy. And it gave me an opportunity to talk to her about how narcissists and people that are damaged will really gravitate to people like us that are lights. And even if it's negative energy, just stay away from him. Like, she gave her such good advice that wasn't like her crazy mom giving her that advice. And I'm just so grateful that the universe, and I got to hear about it, and I didn't freak out like I normally would have. I was just grateful that we ran into each other at that time. So there were other stuff that came up in Deli's reading that was really powerful, but I don't want to share anymore, and I probably overshared about this guy, but that's how powerful it is. Like when people pick up on energies, and people can call it whatever the fuck they want, but it's really about the intention. And I knew, especially, I was like, God, give me a sign, or universe, give me a sign. And Dells was the one that said, I want it, or I want to go. She was the one that even noticed her. I was so like in my head. And so to me, that was confirmation. We like, it was finally when we got out of there, we talked with her for forever. I got her card, and it was time to go see Wicked, and we got an Uber, and it came quickly, and the guy was chatty Cathy. Man, that dude talked the whole time, and the movie was excellent. And I was a little bit like, ooh, it was kind of Earth Angel stuff too. Earth Angel novella connections and things like that. And then we went and had sushi in the evening, and we had such a good time. We came home, and the other Uber driver, all of our Uber drivers were really awesome. Everyone in this town was so kind and so sweet to us. And by the time, even the house people here were just, the lady, all of them, just really wonderful. And we came back, and Dells went to bed, or we started getting ready for bed, and she stayed up talking to her friend, and I slept, and Pancho slept with her. Like, it was such a good night, and I'm just really grateful. And today we woke up, and it was like we were hungover. I was so fucking exhausted. We didn't go anywhere or do anything. We ordered in some Uber Eats, which was nice. It kind of spoiled us. And, you know, my brother picked her up a little bit early. But the interesting thing was, I just had to share this because this is so cool, and then I got to wrap it up because my phone's dying. The crazy thing was, I reached out to my friend because I was thinking about him, and I sent him a picture of me and Dells at dinner, you know, while we were at sushi. And I said, hey, just thinking of you. And he's always had pictures. I've always sent him. He's always kept up with Dells. And I'm like, I got to hang out with my favorite kid today, or my favorite girl, and we had a good day, but I hope you're doing well. And I, you know, hope you're doing well. And he just was like, wow, she's grown so much. And I said, and I thought I'd go out on a limb, and I'd say, and I wrote him back, and I said, yeah, she has. And I said, I hope you're healthy and happy. How is your heart? And that was it. And he replied back, and I thought, he's going to think I'm fucking crazy, because he's never told me what he was. And he replied back, my heart is better. So he was getting tested because of his heart. Isn't that crazy? He said, my heart is better, and now I'm getting tested on something else. But thanks. Like, I think it probably surprised him. And I'm like, I'm so glad to hear that. Sending you, please take care of yourself. And that's all I said. But after that, like when he sent me that, I was like, oh my gosh. And Deli's like, what's going on? And I was like, oh, I just sent Jay a text, and I told her, and she was like, no way. But it was so cool that she got to see how the universe and our intuitions, and it was another opportunity to talk to her about how our intuition works. And, you know, when we don't doubt our gut, you know, and we're connected to good people, that it can help guide us. So that was my little testimony. So it was a really, really cool trip, and we had a great time. And there's still a lot, man. In her session, I'm not gonna lie, it was hard to hear some of the things that she was telling her, but I'm so glad she was honest with her. She talked about her trauma, when Ellie died, and how, you know, I was drunk. And when Peepaw died, that was so fucking traumatic for her. And then I was put in the hospital, and no one really paid attention to what she was really going through. It was just, everyone was in their own worlds. And, so it gave me an opportunity to make amends with her as much as I could about that. I'm like, I'm glad you told me that. I'm really sorry, Deli, that you went through that. And you're right. We didn't pay enough attention to what you were going through, and I'm really sorry. It's okay. And I go, no, it's not. But I just want you to know, I mean, it's not okay what happened, but I want you to know that I love you, and I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry I wasn't there for you like I could have and should have been. And she was like awkward, but it gave us an opportunity, and maybe someday it gives me I talked a little bit about this project that I've been working on, and she got to hear this lady talk to me about my intuitive gifts and what she could see in my energy and stuff. And I think it was kind of cool for my daughter, to hear me get an award at work, but also to hear, another stranger that's connected to spirituality to say, wow, you are very, very connected. Like, whatever you are working on right now, like, it can change the world. It was so cool. Like, she's like, when I said spiritual recovery, she just went like, oh my God, you need to do that now. Like, don't hesitate on that. And I was like, I've been working on it for the last 2 years. She's like, no, but it's time that you start sharing it with people. And that's exactly what, I guess that's what's been so frustrating about this project is, part of it is not just my spiritual growth, but it's telling this story of this earth angel, right? And, it's been really dark the last few months, and I'm really fucking tired. I'm tired of hearing about people continuing to do shitty things. I think everyone in the world is. You look at the political environment, you look at, and not just Trump, I mean, everyone. We live in such dark times, and it's like, when are these fuckers ever going to be held accountable? When are they going to stop being cunts? And when are the good guys going to finally get their good karma? And these fuckers stop. It's frustrating. But it's also a lesson in patience for me. And that's what I'm navigating through in this project. And I didn't want to record tonight. I was tired because I did try and listen to some of the tarot, and it's the same fucking shit. Oh, they're so angry, and the cult is all upset, and they're doing all this evil magic, and they keep trying, and I'm just like, same as a verse. Like, I don't know what else I need to do to move the needle. How else do I change the fucking world, right? No, but I mean, in this storyline, and not just that, but in my life, like, I am grateful for where I am, and I'm grateful for the job that I've been able to do. But I know this isn't my end-all be-all. I know that there's more for me and my daughter to do. And it was so cool to say with confidence when she told my daughter, she saw what I see in my daughter, and that's how I knew this lady was true blue. She's like, you are not here to play small, little girl. Like, she didn't call her a little girl, but she's like, you're not here to play small. You are going to be known. You are going to be known. And I said, she sure is, especially after, I share my testimony I share my spiritual, she's like, especially after your mom starts to share her testimony and her spiritual journey with people, because you're such a big part of it. But you on your own are going to have your own projects and your own. And then she got her to admit, but she was like, the guitar, she brought up the guitar, and Dels was like, yeah, I haven't been playing it lately, which breaks my heart, and I've noticed it, but I don't want to bug her. And she's like, I've just felt really heavy and kind of depressed, and I know it runs in my family, and I know that. And she brought up all these things about, I didn't even know she was interested in the lineage and like the dark parts of the De La Rosa side of the story. I was just like, holy shit, like she's just she's fucking amazing. And I'm so excited. So it was a really amazing time with her. This morning was a little hard. She had her headache again. She's starting to get sick. I was just like emotionally exhausted. We were like kind of spiritually hungover, I think. But we rested. I like that. We stayed in bed all day, and Pancho slept with her all night, and then came and hung out with me in the morning, and now he's snoring here. And now I'm missing her. It's always hard when she leaves, because I miss her. Even though she's here, I can't wait till I'm with her every day so we can talk more about these things. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for the spiritual journey. I'm so grateful to be her mom. I'm so grateful for this beautiful lady, this angel that we were able to meet, and that Deli found her and suggested that we get our cards read, and it was a really cool experience, not just for me and Deli, but also for that lady. Like, she was like, I really enjoyed this time with y'all. Like, she kept, the timer would go off and she's like, oh, I gotta finish this. Like, we would keep talking. So I'm looking forward to talking to her again, and probably when Dels comes, we'll do something like that again, because I really like that. And I'll let Deli talk to her by herself. She was almost like a therapist, because she got Deli to open up about things that I've been wanting to hear or know about. And even if I don't hear it, at least Deli's talking to someone that is connected spiritually and can help her lean into her own gifts and talents, and learn how to navigate your intuition. So I am so fucking grateful. I am. So I think I'm going to end that now. Holy shit, 46 minutes, and my phone is about to die. So hopefully I'll upload this, and it'll either be in the morning, late tonight, or early morning. But I'm really glad I got to journal. I definitely do need to read, but I think I'm going to do that reading tomorrow, A New Earth. You know, I'm glad I talked about this, because right before I jumped on, I listened to a little, like, tarot has been tasteless to me today, and it's not because of the readers. Like, I'm fucking tired of the storyline. I want the heifers to go. I want the karmics to go. I'm tired of them. Go fucking heal. You know, everyone else has put in the hard work. I want that part of the story to be over. Oh, and I didn't, yeah, anyway. But I know, apparently, as long as it's still there's still things for me to learn from, and I will look for the reason and the lessons in it. And right now, you know, I just pray that my daughter stays safe. I pray that my friend Jay stays healthy. I pray that the fuckers in this stupid tarot novella, not stupid, I hope these fucking, I hope they heal. I really hope they heal, but if not, get the fuck out of the story already. Get off of the earth. I mean, these entities and these, I know it's for entertainment purposes only, but I think any decent good person right now is ready for that Yahoo administration to be gone already. And if you are enjoying what is happening, how they are terrorizing, I mean, I heard that there were people that were about to be sworn in as American citizens. They did all their paperwork. They went to all their meetings. They paid all that money. And right up until the end, where they're about to take their oath, they were asked where they came from, most racist pieces of shit, and told them they would not be able to take their oath. Like, just fucking cruelty. And if you get off to that, you deserve all the fucking karma you're gonna get. You and your family, you pieces of shit. Because the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. If you're teaching your family that, y'all are gonna be in for a reckoning. I can't wait till this chapter in our history is over, because it's disgusting and we're all fucking tired of it. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready for this story to change, and I think the rest of the world is. But in the meantime, I'm still going to be focusing on myself and my spiritual work, and I hope that I can encourage and inspire other people to do the same, no matter how that looks for you. You don't have to listen to tarot. You don't have to listen to YouTube. Just get back to your passion. Get back to healing that inner child, and we literally can change the world. I believe that 100%. That's not me being a fake storyteller. I'm being sincere and honest. I've seen it in the recovery rooms. I've seen how you can be inspired by just one person who had the courage to stay sober and change, to be able to look in the mirror and share their story and help you get through the darkest parts of your life. And that's what I think we are meant to do here. But anyway, I love you, and I will be back tomorrow. Good night.